All right, time now is 11:40 a.m. on November 29th. One day until the application deadline for UCLA and CSUs. Fuck. So I went to bed at 3:50 a.m. and woke up at 10:45, but I went back to sleep because I'm just too fucking tired. Um, and the next time I woke up, it was 11:30. Yeah, so I don't know, man. It's not much of an improvement than 2 days ago's 4 a.m., 4:05. It's not much of an improvement. Like, every time I plan to sleep, I actually get to sleep about 30 minutes after that. So tonight I should plan to sleep at around 3 a.m. so that I would actually go to bed at 3:30. But yeah, it was productive. Yesterday was productive, but again, it's impossible for me to finish all the tasks within one day. Even if I don't look at Instagram at all and don't rest at all and don't listen to any music at all, it's impossible to finish all the tasks because I just have so much. Like yesterday, like Zara was DMing me, someone else wanted to call me. It's funny because I called my mom for about half an hour last night, and then it was around the time like Thomas and I were discussing what to do for script writing club meeting, and then he was like, "Hold on, I got another call." And then it is around that time my mom WhatsApped me telling me, "Oh, you can call me now." So I called my mom, and I texted Thomas like, "My mom's calling me," and then Thomas like, "Yep, me too." You know, his foster mom, his adopt mom. Um, yeah. Uh, So yeah, but I still managed to finish watching a whole movie yesterday, plus 20 minutes of another movie. I managed to finish the anthropology report first draft. I managed to, I spent 1 hour and 15 minutes doing the insanely, stupidly complicated biology homework where I have to film myself dissecting a flower and then do a worksheet and then draw on it and whatever fucking hell. Like it's insanely complicated, but I'm glad I was able to finish it before the deadline. 8 minutes before the deadline, which is 12:15 after midnight. I handed in at 12:07. Um, and I didn't do much in terms of the uni application stuff, but I did listen to my mom's colleagues' advices and tips, and I did see he helped me rewrite a little bit the essays. He helped change some wordings here and there for two out of the four essays. He helped rewrite the mandatory one and PIQ two, the creativity one. But then for PIQ 5 and 6, aka the challenge in the community, it's all good. I don't need to change anything about it, I guess. So yeah, my PIQs are all set, and all that's left for me to do is to really fill in everything in the UC application website and the CSU application website, and then just submit, and then just press submit. Really, I'm going to call an international student counselor today before I go to film two. So yeah, today's the Tuesdays, which means I need to go to a film history class. I also thought maybe I could do some push-ups and sit-ups, but I changed my clothes already. That's impossible now, and also I don't have time to do that. I'm sorry. I'm just really worried about Pepper. I spoke with Pepper a little bit yesterday, and I told her, I know someone who can read your essays, your PIQs. And she said, well, I just let my agency read it. And I'm like, you trust them? Because the agency, it's the same agency, by the way, who helped me, who hooked me up. It's the same agency who hooked me up with this college. And I don't think there are any people in that agency who are like expertly good at English. But my mom's colleague, however, I trust him. He actually like has really good advice in terms of writing good essays. And I'm really scared for Pepper. I'm actually really worried for Pepper. I'm worried that she would fail her Duolingo again, and that her essays are not good enough. And I know I shouldn't be worried so much. And again, throw back to the times back in secondary school, like, had I ever worried about like Mary's academic results? Never. Had I ever been worried about Natalie's results? Never. I didn't care. If Natalie failed her maths, I honestly wouldn't care. Because Natalie's always better than me. Natalie's always better at math than me. Natalie's better at English than me by a little margin. And Natalie and I doesn't even study the same maths. She has M2. And then, of course, Natalie doesn't need to worry about Chinese. I actually never worried about someone so much. Like, Pepper is the first girl, and in fact, the first person whom I actually, like, care about her daily life shit, you know? Like, if Pink... Okay, I guess if Pink goes crazy and starts slitting her wrists, I would be worried, and I would want to speak to her and tell her to stop, but I never cared about Pink's academic results or anything like that. I guess part of the reason why Pepper, like, I cared about Pepper is because Pepper's just a small girl like Pink. But now that I know who Pepper is, Pepper really is different from Pink. Like, in terms of everything, Pepper's... You know, I tried vaping. That is already a huge breakthrough. I don't think a lot of the people around me back in secondary school also like vapes, because the laws surrounding vaping is so much harsher. Let alone marijuana. Like, if I did try marijuana, I'm not gonna say like in December. That's fucking crazy. But in round 3, and then if I go back to Hong Kong and just casually mention, oh yeah, like if somebody asked me, I'm not gonna tell everyone, but if somebody asked me, oh, have you tried this? Have you done that? And I'm like, oh yeah. You know, I'm already like 10 times crazier than your average person. So yeah. But yeah, that's it. That's all. Lots to do today. So hopefully I get to finish watching 3 movies today. One of which is in the film history class, and then I need to finish watching 2 movies tonight. Which I hope I can finish. The uni app stuff, that's the number 1 priority. Tomorrow's a Wednesday, and tomorrow's going to be a busy ass day because it's because there's Film 32, and then there's the whole short film festival thing, and I'll but shoot day 4, and I doubt tomorrow I'll have a lot of time to, you know, do my uni app stuff. And tomorrow's the fucking deadline, so, you know, come on. So I gotta submit tonight. Fuck. Yeah. Yeah, anthropology report and my short film stuff I'll put aside a little bit, just for a while. And then in December I'll get back to those things. But I really care about Pepper. I really am worried for her. Like, if her essays, if her PIQs are not good enough, and her Duolingo isn't super great and stuff, I really wish her personal statement and whatever supplementary material would be fucking amazing, so that, you know, she would actually be accepted in UCLA, even though that's like 0% chance. And my mom, the last time I called my mom told me all this crazy stuff about how the UCLA film may not even accept students this year because there's like a civil war in the film department in UCLA. Like, the head of the film department is accused of sexual assault or some shit like that. And some teachers, some professors are against him, some professors are for him, and then there's like a civil war in there, and it's getting crazy and hectic. Because apparently my mom's colleague, the other colleague, who teaches cinematography in Baptist University, he has a lot of connections in LA, and he had lunch. The last time he went to LA, he had lunch with the principal, the headmaster of the Chapman University. I don't know if it's the principal of the Chapman University or just the head of the film department in Chapman, but that guy told my mom's colleague that Chapman is the best university in terms of film right now. Like the equipment and everything, it's great. Of course, he would say that. But he did Chapman for a little while, and then he went back to AFI. Like the American Film Institute got him back or something because he was originally from AFI. Then he went to Chapman, and he went back to AFI. And then he had all this to say about UCLA. Like, oh, it's a mess right now. It's a political mess. And you know, I don't know. Worried. I hope Pepper at least gets accepted to like USC or something, which is a little bit easier to get into. Yeah, but then there's the future. What if I get accepted to UCLA, and then Pepper luckily gets accepted to USC, and then we're separated, and then that's the end of the story. I don't want to think about that, but it may actually happen. So yeah. I'm so fucking late. All right, time now is 3:44. Oh, hold on. I gotta turn off my Bluetooth. There we go. Time now is 3:44 p.m. I just came back home. So it's quite funny. I thought I would be late. I did the international student counseling, and it went on for like 20 minutes until 1:50 p.m., which is crazy because I'm supposed to leave at 1:40 at the latest for film history class. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna be late, but this shit is more important. Transfer application, that's more important. So I stayed with the international student counselor, and I asked as many questions as possible before she was like, okay, I'm sorry I have to cut this meeting short because there are other students waiting. But yeah, I asked most of the questions I wanted to ask, and I have some good intel. Anyways, for about 5-6 minutes, I chowed down a bowl of microwaved cheese rice meal, which is actually pretty good. And then I left, and by the time I arrived in film 2, I was about like 10 minutes late. It wasn't that dramatic. It was around 2:35-ish, 2:30-ish when I went in, and yeah, I didn't miss much. So apparently today our class was short. You may be wondering, why am I filming this right now at 3:45 p.m.? Well, it's because the class was cut short. I don't know why. Maybe it's the professor. Maybe he's busy or something. But originally, today's plan was to watch The Wind Will Carry Us, an Iranian, aka Persian film. But he delayed that to next week. Today's class, he only went over how well we did for our midterms, and he briefly mentioned what we're going to do for the exam, which is something we're going to receive next week. And that's it. Patrick didn't show up. So Patrick DM'd me on Instagram a little bit before the class began and was like, can you help me write notes because I'm not going to be here? And I'm like, sure, even though I'll be late. And he's like, no worries. And then there's nothing to write notes about. So I went in, and I wasn't even the latest person. There's a black girl whom I've spoken to who came after me. And then Patrick wasn't here, but the Thai boy was here. So I went all the way up in the auditorium. Usually I sit at the front third row, but the Thai boy usually sits way back. Or now, recently, he sit way back. And so I sat beside him for a little while, and then class just ends half an hour later, and then I'm like, well, okay. So I went back, and that's it. And that's great because now I have 3 more hours of free time, of precious time, and that's amazing. That's great news because now I can spend more time. I can watch the 2 movies I intended to watch today. And then I can spend more time working on my applications. And then now I have more time to do some other small stuff like doing the laundry or filling in my spending spreadsheet. And if I even have time, I can work on my Japan trip a little bit, as well as maybe check on my American Express and see if I got hacked or something. If I have time, of course. I forgot to mention that there was a tiny red spider on my shirt when I was walking back home, and it's super small, and I was gonna blow it. I take off my mask and I tried to blow it. It's not going away. So my second resort is to like fling it like this, and the moment I flinged it, it fucking smashed into paste. The spider, instead of like bouncing off me and just jumping onto the floor, I smashed it into paste, and it turned into mushy red paste, which is so fucking gross and violent. It's like, it seems like a scene out of The Boys, you know? So it was gross. I had a little bit of spider corpse on my hands, and it's red, and I had a little bit on my shirt, and I came back home and I tried to wipe it off and everything. I tried to clean it with the alcohol spray. But yeah, it's really gross. I thought it's supposed to have like exoskeleton that's strong enough to withstand such a force. You know, because usually cockroaches and mosquitoes, they're strong enough to withstand that. But I guess it's a baby spider, so it's not, I don't know. Also, the interesting intel I've received from my international student counselor is that for UCLA, I don't even need to do the Duolingo English test. I don't even fucking need it. Yeah. So, I don't know if it's true or not though, because some other people are like, yeah, I need it, but then this counselor said we don't. Because I've already studied in this college since 2020 September, and by the time I go into UCLA, it would have been already 3 years since I've studied English, studied in an institution where English is the main language. So this basically means I don't need to take the Duolingo English test. But I still do need to do that test for USC. But usually for international students entering USC, they usually do the TOEFL or the IELTS. If I do the Duolingo English test for USC, I will have to additionally do an international student exam of sorts, which is very complicated and weird and uncommon. But I already did my Duolingo English test. I don't want to waste that. So yeah, and again, the DET is the easiest out of all the TOEFL, IELTS, and DET. DET is the easiest and the cheapest, and the least time consuming. Another thing is I asked about PIQs and essays. I asked her if I could repeat some of the stuff I write on PIQs on my supplementary essays, and she said yes, as long as I answer the question. I also asked, I asked this for Pepper, really. I asked, what if my PIQs are not good enough? And she said it wouldn't matter as much. The supplementary essays matter so much more. But PIQs are still important. Like, you still need to know how to write stuff. You still need to be grammatically correct, at least. So yeah, I really, I hope Pepper shows me her PIQs, and I hope I could at least fix some of the grammar on her PIQs. Yeah, and that's it. And, what else? Alternate majors. Honestly, a lot of the questions I asked, she didn't even have much of an answer for. Like, what should I do with the UCLA alternate major? No fucking idea. Yeah. And should I apply to other UCs? Don't know. Your choice. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, it's dinner time. It's bok choy with garlic, chicken thighs. And the special thing I'm gonna try is, I got the very silky, smooth, soft tofu, and I have no idea how to cook it. So I'm just gonna mix it with rice, raw. I'm not cooking it. And I'm also trying out the honey barbecue sauce with the chicken. Alright, time now is 12:04 after midnight on November 30th. Shit. So I'm still editing my college update video. It took me so long. I plan to finish editing it at 11:15. but I stopped. Instead, I did my film 2 homework. But yeah, today so far has still been very productive. I finished watching a film. I filmed and edited a review. I also I have been productive. I filled in my spendings Google spreadsheet. I'm editing my college video. I'm gonna correct my PIQ a little bit, and then afterwards I can submit it. I sort of have decided to apply to UCSB, to Santa Barbara, just in case. So Pepper's applying to UCLA, Santa Barbara, UC Irvine, and San Diego all together. I'm only going for UCLA and Santa Barbara. Um, yeah, I spoke to Pepper, and yeah, I spoke to her a lot actually. Like, I just asked her a bunch of stuff. I asked her if she's going to the ICC social thing, because there's a ICC social thing, the inter club. I don't know what ICC stands for actually. Inter college club, intra college club. So ICC is essentially all the club leaders of my college. And so I signed up. There's a Google form where I have to reserve a spot for myself. And I just filled in my name. And the thing is, you cannot join unless you're the president of the club or the delegate, like the ICC delegate, or an advisor. And I'm neither of these three. And I'm not going to put president, so I just said I'm the ICC delegate. I don't actually really know who is the ICC delegate of that club. I actually have no idea. I I don't know, and I don't know if they're like really professional about it. But if they don't check and I sneak in, that's fine. Okay, that's fucking fine, and that's Thursday. Thomas also texted me. Thomas went to USC today to join the protest, to join the anti-CCP protests. And it was quite a scene. Somebody got the Hong Kong independence flag and everything. It's crazy. And I'm low-key interested in joining one as well, but I'm not that urgent in doing that as of now. But apparently they're doing one in UCLA on Thursday, and if I have time, I would like to join. Um, yeah, so, yeah, I don't know. I've been editing my college update video, and one of the things is, I'm losing it, and I'm going to completely lose it. And it is sadness and loneliness and anger. Like, yeah, sure, in the future I'll feel sad and lonely and angry again, but nowhere near the same way as I used to feel back in Forms 5 and 6. And if I lose that, I don't think I'll be able to write The Virgin anymore, so I need to write it ASAP. A month ago, I said I wanted to finish it by the end of November. Well, fuck, I can't. I don't have the time. But what if I finish it in January when I go back to Hong Kong? So that's a great time, because right now, me being, I still speak to Pepper. I don't think Pepper will hate me anytime soon. But I'm going to have a period of isolation from Pepper in January. And I'm going to be alone again. Alone in Hong Kong. For the most part. I'll see Natalie, I'll see people, but I'll be alone, And I think that will put me in a way better headspace. I think being in Hong Kong in general will trigger some of my past emotions, like how lonely and angry and sad I was back in secondary school. I think that would help me a lot. So if I want to write The Virgin here in LA, it's actually a lot harder. So yeah, and another thing I wanted to say is, it would be really fucking perfect if I have a massive crush on Pepper right now. But the thing is, I don't. And, or at least I don't think so. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think so. Because Pepper's nothing. I realize this. I don't consider myself truly in love with someone unless it's to the point where if I don't hear her voice, I want to die. if I don't hear her voice for a certain amount of time, I actually want to die. And that's very extreme. But that was exactly the case with Mary. Like, if I didn't hear Mary's voice for a whole week or a whole month or see her at all, I would just feel distress, like, naturally. And I wonder if I will feel the same for Pepper, but I just don't think so because Pepper's, like, very different. But I hope I do because it's literally fucking perfect. Okay, it's literally fucking perfect. Like the fact that we're in the same class, the fact that we went to Castaic together, and I recall some of the stuff that happened on that day, and how Pepper's like she like air kicks me and jokes around with me, and if I like have a massive crush on her, it would be perfect. But I just don't. That's the only thing that I need. Everything else is great. Like Pepper is nice to me. Like she yeah, she's nice to me. You know? And I see her a lot and I speak to her a lot, and uh like imagine if like that's Mary. Wouldn't I be so fucking blessed? But yeah, I'm just overthinking really. Um Yeah, maybe I'm gonna DM Michelle and ask her more about Film 33, perhaps. It's 2:30 a.m. and I am trying to look for scholarships for my UC application. And holy fuck, I really went through all this, and then I found this school of geographic affiliation. Attended school in Hong Kong? We may get a scholarship. Also this. Nope. It's so random. Transfer students. Not mature. I'm not a woman. Not really, no. Enrolled in U.S. federally recognized tribe or nation? I don't think so. I'm gonna try these, even though Asian American affairs, I don't. Maybe, perhaps, I don't know. I'll just select it. Okay, actually, you know what? I'm gonna be serious here. Probably not. Academic excellence. I think I did. I think I can do that. Yeah. That's definitely a thing. Fine art film is not really fine art. Fine arts are okay. Am I missing anything? I don't think so. Alright, time now is 2:56 a.m. I'm going to take a shower and go to bed right now. It's really fucking late. I want to say that I ran out of time again. I plan to do like anthropology homework and edit my short film. I didn't do any of that shit. I even though I didn't edit my short film Cloud Busting, I did just check out my Bloody Valentine a little bit. I kind of want to start editing on that because I'm still waiting on the coloring and the score for Cloud Busting. I might as well start working on my 5th short film, but I don't like doing that. I want to be focused on one short film at once. So yeah, I actually texted Lucas asking him his COVID recovery. He hasn't responded. But yeah, I didn't get to watch Ghost in the Shell. I wanted to finish watching Overheard and Ghost in the Shell today. And I finished Overheard, but I only watched 8 minutes of Ghost in the Shell, and that's fucking it. Which is kind of sad. I instead spent like 2 fucking hours editing my college update video, my condensed version of that. And then I spent another like 2 hours working on my uni application, basically finalizing. I didn't fill in the CSU application stuff all that much until today. Like most of the stuff on the CSU website, I filled in today. So there's the UC application, and then there's a CSU application website. two websites. So I'm filling in a lot of information on these two websites. You know, my parents, um, jobs, their level of education, my achievements like awards and accolades, my extracurricular activities. And the most time consuming is my college that I'm studying in right now and my transcript essentially. Like every single course I've taken, the grade I got from that course, is that course transferable to that university, whether it be CSU or whatever UC. And then for UC, I ended up also applying to Santa Barbara for film studies. And I'm not going to pick any alternative major. For UCLA, I really want to pick an alternate major for safety measures, but I don't know which one to pick because I can't find film studies in UCLA. Is film studies not a thing in UCLA? There's only film production. And there's no way in hell am I picking like theater acting or theater design for an alternate major because that also requires a lot of supplementary material and I'm not doing that shit. So I have no idea what to do. So I left that blank. I thought I would leave the award section blank and then fill in tomorrow, but honestly, I don't even want to waste that time tomorrow. I don't think I have that much time tomorrow to fill in any more stuff. For the CSU application stuff, I basically completed the whole thing today. I even had to fill in the IELTS that I've done in 2019, even though it doesn't really matter. And I had to ask my mom many times, like, do you have a scan of my IELTS results? Do you have a scan of my I-20? Because I have to fill in this SEVIS ID and whatever ID and when is my visa issued and all that stuff. But yeah, my CSU application is pretty much completely done. I haven't pressed submit, but it's pretty much completely done. The only thing that's keeping me from submitting is the extra documents I have to submit for CSUN, even though apparently it's optional. I'm going to ask about it. I'm going to ask Eric because he's the CSU guy. I'm also going to ask Eric about the idea of a second major in Long Beach because I can't seem to choose one right now. But apparently there should be a second choice. And then what's keeping me from submitting my UC application is my PIQs. I finished all 4 of them, but there's one particular essay that I have to polish a little bit because my mom's colleague in my mom's company said it needs some reworking. But yeah, fuck, I'm not gonna have that much time. And I'm also worried about Pepper. I also spent a lot of time today, not a lot of time, but a little bit of time looking at the scholarships. So it has a huge list of like conditions, right? If you're colorblind, if one of your parents died, if you're an undocumented student, a victim of Armenian genocide, or the freaking descendant of a Civil War hero or some shit like that. Like there are so many of these conditions. You just tick some of the boxes and then maybe it'll consider a scholarship. And thank God 2 of the boxes are Hong Kong related. I am fucking golden, baby. And I gotta tell Pepper about this. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then I have to fill in some information about my dad's last job because my dad's kind of unemployed right now, which is gonna give me a bad look on the application. But yeah, I hope tomorrow I have time to press submit because tomorrow is going to be fucking hectic. We have film 32 and then we have right after film 32 is probably going to be really chill, honestly. But right after film 32 there's the film club film festival showcase thing from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., which is kind of messed up because when am I supposed to have dinner then? I mean, come on. So I don't really know. And then when that event is happening, Alba's gonna shoot some of the last shots she need for her short film. And she told me to bring my camera. That's why I'm charging my camera right now. I'm gonna bring it out tomorrow again. Maybe I should bring my bag, but then maybe not, because that's a hassle. But yeah, in any case, Pepper's gonna show me her PIQs tomorrow. Hopefully I can help her with some of the grammar before she submits, or maybe she had submitted already. I don't know. Hopefully not. Um, and yeah, something is telling me that maybe I should bring my laptop to school tomorrow, just in case that film festival thing ran super late and I don't have a lot of time to, finish everything. But then it's so heavy to bring my laptop and camera at the same time. I don't know. Fuck. I don't know. I really don't know. But the deadline is literally tomorrow, and I have to submit either way tomorrow. And I have to finish 2 movies tomorrow now, Ghost in the Shell and then The Parallax View. God, I'm running out of time so hard still, even though today has been relatively productive. Oh yeah, I also spent like half an hour writing my film to film journal homework. Thank God I remembered that. I mean, yeah, today was productive, but man, I'm still running out of time so hard. I still gotta do laundry. Look at all my dirty clothes. I'm gonna do laundry tomorrow night so that I have new clean clothes on Thursday. Yeah, and I've yet to DM Michelle about Film 33. And I've yet to reply to an email I got yesterday morning or a couple days ago. Goddamn. Alright, time now is 8:07 a.m. on November 30th. Fuck me. So I went to bed at 3:50 a.m. and I didn't immediately fall asleep again. I don't know why. I don't know how much does it take to make me actually feel sleepy, cuz even though ever since like Sunday I have been waking up by the alarm every morning and I've been feeling tired every fucking morning, I still don't feel tired enough to want to sleep like immediately. So yeah, today I slept for less than 4 hours, and I'm so tired, and I can't wait to sleep tonight. But I just can't seem to go to bed early, and I can't seem to fall asleep early at all. I don't know what's wrong with me. What the fuck? Like, okay, so it's 3:50 a.m. all the way till like 7:45. So yeah, I'm so energetic. Yeah. And then there's the acne on my face. I don't know what's going on. Like, this stuff and this on the side is like cooling down right now, but then I have 3 new pimples right here, one right here, one right here, and one right here. What? So I already changed my like body wash when I wipe my face. I don't use the one I usually use. It's not working. The moisturizing cream is not helping me either. I feel like the moisturizing cream only makes it worse. If I leave it dry, it will dry up faster. So yeah, I don't fucking know what's going on with my face. I just can't stop having acne. I just can't stop. I don't know why. Is it the stress? Like, am I eating something wrong right now? Like, what's going on? I just can't fucking stop having acne no matter what I do, no matter what I try. So yeah, I don't know. And today's November 30th. So today's a Wednesday, so I'm going to film 32 class. And then right after class, at around 6 p.m., there's going to be a film club film festival thing where I have to show up. And it's going to last until 8 p.m. And then that is around when Aoba's going to shoot the last few shots she needs for her short film, and she needs my camera, which is over there. So that's that. So I don't have a lot of time today for my personal stuff, and that's an issue because today is the fucking deadline for the UC's application and the CSU application, and hopefully I get to have some time to. I don't know. If it's I'm just daydreaming right now, but what if after film 32? What if we get off early for film 32 today and then I get to go back home and then submit my applications and then come back out? That would be so much more comfortable. But even so, even if not, even if I submit my applications tonight very, very late, it's still okay. But yeah, that's that. Not much else. I just really hope I actually sleep earlier tonight. And by that I mean like 3:15 a.m. God, and I have to finish watching 2 movies tonight. 2 movies.
Break?
Yeah, there's a bunch of sound.
Oh.
Oh, this is where that door went.
Where is this?
If you did. Just
Yeah,
1 second.
Put some more paint.
Where is
I never
I
BTS?
hope you fall to the floor.
Yeah, careful, you're gonna.
All right, it's 2:09 p.m. I just came back home from Nijia Market with Pepper. I got ginger, finally. Oh my god. For lunch, bean salad, and then on top of that, katsudon rice bowl. Easy, quick lunch. I got myself some sesame oil, which is very exciting. And Sprite. And to top it off, Fanta. I wanted to buy cherry Coke and all that stuff, but I can't find it. Chopsticks. All right, time now is 3:02 p.m. Yeah, so I came back home about an hour ago, and I just finished lunch, which is the pork rice and the bean salad that I showed you. Yeah, let's talk about today real quick, and then I'm going to talk about the second half of today. So I went to Film 32 class, and I was extremely early. And then when I arrived, I was genuinely curious how many people will actually show up. Yeah, because all the scenes we're going to film for Film 32 is over, and then right now Film 33 is doing their thing. They are using the studio, constructing the set, and for their short film. So basically, Film 32 is technically already over, because right now the entire film production department has shifted their focus onto one short film that Film 33 is making. So essentially, everyone from Film 32 who came to class today is essentially useless. We're just going to help out with 33, PA a little bit, that's it. And that's pretty much exactly what happened. So, yeah, I just thought of something awesome. I'm going to talk about that later. So I arrived, and I was quite early. David was there already, and several others were there. Birkin, the Turkish guy, was there. And then of course it's Film 33. They got the props, they got the everything, they got the Film 33 people there, just a few of them setting up the flats. And then more and more people showed up. Pepper showed up, and Aoba didn't show up. A lot of people didn't show up. Only about 1/4 of the people showed up. So Christian showed up. Yulia, the Russian girl, showed up. Liana, the Russian girl, showed up. Very, very late into the class. Sidlali and Jonathan showed up. Alan, the Mexican, showed up. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. There's a guy whose name is Dane, and he is the writer-director of a horror short film, and I am currently his second AD, but I couldn't make it because the shoot is going to take place in January, and I'm not going to be here. So unfortunately, there's that. But yeah, he's there, and he immediately knew who I am. He's like, Enoch, hi. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. So we helped build the set, and I was really tired, so I tried my best to do as little as possible. There were so many moments where Pepper seems to be doing even better than me. Like, Pepper knows how to tie a safety net, like a safety wire around a jack. around a clamp, and Pepper's so active. Like Pepper helped out with the screws, and then Pepper did this, and Pepper did that. And yeah, I'm thinking of something else again. My mind is just going places right now. But yeah, you know, like I did the safety wire because I want to do it, and it wasn't really good. So Pepper's like, okay, I'll do it again. I'll redo it. So I just let Pepper do it. So we built the set. At some point, we went to the auditorium where they stored a lot of the giant set pieces, and they told us to just lift it and move it to the studio, to the soundstage, which is right at the side. And it was so fucking heavy. I moved twice, and both of the objects I helped move was extremely fucking heavy, so much so that my fingers and my forearm is a little sore right now. But then I have to pretend I'm fine, and then a lot of other people are fine, so it's like, come on. But I helped out at least, you know. And then there are several moments where I don't even have anything to do. Because again, we're Film 32, and not all of us have volunteered to help Film 33, but we're all just here for some reason. So at some point we just sat around and we just chatted. Cliff the Malaysian showed up, Miles showed up, and I and Cliff and Miles looked at memes for a while, and then there's one meme that Cliff has in his phone where it's like a bunch of tomatoes and a dog in a red circle, which is fucking hilarious. And Pepper really likes it, and Pepper's like, oh, send it to me. But that was way before. When Pepper was like, send it to me, that was back in the Academy Museum on that day. But Cliff showed this meme again, and that's that. I really wanted to, okay, at some point, all the Film 32 people, we were told to paint polystyrofoam boards with gray paint. And we took these boards outside and we painted it, and there were only a few brushes, so a lot of us just stood around awkwardly. It was really funny. I painted a little bit, and I got some paint on my fingers. I washed it off, and I got some on my shoes, which is fucked. And then afterwards, again, I really wanted to, again, I'm worried for Peppers. I really wanted to help her, you know, fix some of her grammatical mistakes on her PIQs and whatnot. And yeah, so, you know, I approached Pepper. I was like, and it's your PIQ, and then she actually sent it to me, and I was like, okay, first sentence, second sentence, and apparently she sent her PIQ to her agency so that her agency can check for the grammars and everything, but it's still bad. It's been checked, and it still sucks. I don't know why. So I really have to help Pepper. So I told Pepper, and Pepper's like, this is exactly why I don't want to show it to you, because you're just going to have opinions. And I'm like, no, but I'm trying to help you. And then Pepper's like, yeah, well, it's too late. You know, today's the deadline. And I'm like, no, there's still time. So a little bit later, I managed to convince her. And I was like really convincing. I was like, okay, man, you know, it's the last day. You're not particularly great in English. There's me. I don't want to be a show off, but I'm, you know, pretty good at writing shit. Let me help you, okay? And the PIQs, they're important, especially if your GPA isn't high enough. And for Pepper, her GPA isn't like insanely high. So it really depends on her PIQs. All right. And then near the end, it's funny because Mexico and the other Saudi Arabia were having a World Cup match. And then when Mexico gold, all the Mexicans, like Alba and other Mexican people, like Erwin and Alan and Christian, they were like, oh my god, yo! And it was so funny. But yeah, there's that. Patrick also showed up. So later, me, Pepper, and several others have decided to sneak away during lunchtime because Film 32 clearly don't need us. I want to go back home because I'm tired. I also really want to press submit. I want to submit my applications, and I want to go back home. So a little bit later, we asked one of the people, and they're like, yeah, actually, we don't really need you anymore. It's preferred that you come back. We might need your help, but honestly, you can go. And he's like, don't tell them I said this. So at the end, a lot of us just left. So I and Pepper were like, yeah, let's just fucking go. Before we left, Miles and Cliff, me and Pepper, we hung out a little bit, and then Miles was like, oh, let's go somewhere and take some photos. Find a good place and take a bunch of photos. And I said, oh yeah, Cliff should bring his camera and I should bring mine, because Cliff takes a lot of photos as well. And then Jonathan, the big Latino guy, he showed me a couple of actual photos where I'm in it, and it's pretty good, and I'm happy with it. And then I remembered, oh yeah, I have my Sony a7 III in my backpack right now, because originally my plan is to wait at the CMD all the way until like 4 p.m., 5 p.m., and then Alba shows up and then all that stuff. Because Alba needs my camera for her shoot. And then so I took a bunch of photos, and then Pepper played with my camera a little bit. I took some pictures of Pepper, and then Cliff played with it a little bit. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And afterwards, I and Pepper, we both left. Pepper was almost like, okay, you take photos, I'm gonna left. And I'm like, no, because I want to leave with her. And then, of course, when I and Pepper left the campus, Connor, the Macanese guy, showed up, because why not? So we chatted a little bit, and it's nice. Connor's a nice dude, and we didn't talk much. We talked about like transfer and like Film 50 and all that shit, and that's it. And then I and Pepper continued our conversation. So we mentioned what's going on in China, and I talked about Thomas and how he went to protesting in USC last night, and then we talked about Thomas a little bit, and then we sat together on the bus, and then we ended up talking a little bit about how well Pepper did in Film 21. So Film 21 is advanced screenwriting, and Pepper got an A for the last act of her script, which is sad. There's a giant mosquito here. Great. Which is fucking sad because, oh wow. There's a lot of dust here. Holy shit. That's sad because when I took Film 20, beginner script writing class, with the same professor, I got a B for my film treatment and then a C for my TV Bible, which sucks. So Pepper's better than me, I guess. Or more so, my explanation for that is I don't like to follow rules, so maybe I just broke too many rules and the professor didn't really like that. But yeah, essentially there's that. Yeah. And then we got off the bus, and I didn't know what to eat for lunch, because I didn't plan to have lunch today, like to cook myself lunch or anything. I thought maybe we would go out like the usual Wednesdays. So at the end, Pepper's like, oh, I need to buy some stuff in Nijia Market. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Yeah, sure. I'm going to buy my lunch in Nijia Market too. So I went to Nijia Market with him. I walked with Pepper again, and then we went to Nijia Market completely unmasked. We bought some stuff. I bought a bunch of stuff. I walked back. And we talked about several things. So first of all, at some point the conversation went really philosophical, because we were talking about Film 33 and how Pepper really wanted to pitch her script idea, and she wants to bring her best script idea, best story idea, and bring it to Film 33. And I said you shouldn't do that, because the college will own your idea and will make creative changes. And Pepper's like, yeah, I know, but in the future, when I grow up and I have more experience, my story ideas and my scripts will be even better, so it's fine. And then I said, well, that's not true, in my opinion. Like, I feel like my creativity right now is nowhere near as great and as rich as when I was young. And then so we started talking about do it to the fullest, which is basically carpe diem, seize the day. Pretend that you will die tomorrow. So you live your life to the fullest today. And that's Pepper's philosophy, essentially. And Pepper and I even commented like, wow, that's so you, that's like the opposite of me. I usually plan good things in the future. And then right now I can suffer, but it's all part of the plan. I will not live my life to the fullest. I will plan so that my life will get better in the future. I'm like the fucking opposite. So, we talked, and then Pepper talked about how, well, I didn't tell you this, but, when I had COVID, my sister suddenly called me and told me that our godmother, not godmother, kaima, like friend, yeah, godmother in a way, had passed away. She was really healthy, but then one day she was up vomiting, and then the other day she passed away. And this really triggered Pepper, her thoughts, and made her think, wow, life is so futile. Life is so, not futile, fragile. Life is so easily taken away. I may die tomorrow in a car crash or something, so I want to live my life to the fullest. When we and Connor were walking to the bus stop, and Connor left. Connor didn't take the bus with us. Connor walked away somewhere because he wants to buy something. Pepper's like, oh, and Pepper took a small can of candies in her bag, and Pepper's like, do you take this one? And Connor's like, no, I took a different one. Apparently, these candies are weed candies. They got weed in them. These are weed candies. And I was kind of like, holy shit, even Connor does it. I mean, it doesn't surprise me, given that Connor is the male version of Pepper. But, yeah, I mean, wow, everybody does it, and now I just feel like maybe it's okay if I do it too. And Pepper's like, yeah, you should. And then Pepper talked about how, but don't do it in the streets. Don't get high in the streets. Do it with friends. That's way more fun, and that's way safer. And then I said, yeah, but I want to do it in a party, like for the maximum experience, for the maximum American experience. And then Pepper said, well, that's not a very great idea because there are other people at the party. There are strangers. And when you act weird in front of strangers, like, it's, it's dangerous. And I said, well, isn't that part of the fun? Isn't that like a thrill? And then I said, oh, I just thought of something really, like, hentai, really perverted. Really messed up. Not messed up, but like, like sick. And Pepper's like, and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to say it. And Pepper's like, say it. Oh, wait, let me guess. And Pepper's like, oh, do you mean, like, taking drugs in the streets? And I'm like, no, it's much worse than that. And Pepper's like, you mean like fucking in the streets? But I didn't hear fucking. Like, she said in Cantonese, and she uses slang, and I didn't get it at first. So I'm like, no, I'm saying, like, some people like to not wear underwear in the streets, and it's like the thrill that really gets to them. And Pepper's like, oh, yeah. But, it's whatever. If people don't see that you're not wearing an underwear, it literally means nothing. Which is true, but that exactly shows what kind of person Pepper is. Yeah, if you don't wear underwear in the streets, it's like fine as long as people don't see it. I wouldn't think it's fine. I would panic if I don't have underwear on the streets. I would be panicking. I would be so scared for my life, even if nobody sees it. But Pepper's like, yeah, as long as nobody sees it, it's fun. But yeah, anyways, we continue to talk. Pepper talked about how she wants to learn Japanese and Korean. She wants to learn Japanese first and use Japanese to learn Korean. And then she also somehow is able to listen to Mandawa, which is a dialect of Chinese. Not a dialect of Mandarin, a dialect of Chinese. It's different from Mandarin and Cantonese, a whole different family. And she said how her grandma is actually a mean person, who speaks this language, this dialect. And I'm like, oh, I see. We're very interesting. I've always wondered my own ancestry. But yeah, I realize I have a lot of stuff to talk to Pepper with. And then sometimes today, I also think to myself, am I talking about myself too much? Because being a good friend also means being a good listener. Like, maybe I should really listen to Pepper and ask her about herself instead of only talking about myself and my own experiences. Like earlier today, Christian asked, "Hey Pepper, how is Big Bear Lake?" And I was like, holy shit, right. I never even asked Pepper about Big Bear Lake. Not because I don't care about her, but because I grow up and I'm raised, and during secondary school, I learned a way where asking people about themselves is awkward and embarrassing. So I naturally will not ask people about themselves. But I realize that's not good in 2022 when I'm 20 years old. So I asked her, where is it actually? And she's like, oh, it's 2 hours north driving in LA. And she saw snow and all that stuff. She saw snow before, but she hasn't seen snowing. I've seen snowing. But yeah, at the end it all like went back to personal statements and PIQs. Like I told Pepper, okay, I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna at least fix the grammar. And Pepper's like, okay, so I'm gonna help her. So yeah, I just finished lunch, and later I'm going to go back to CMD again. Holy shit. So today I plan to do a mini movie review video. My voice is raspy, and I'm tired as hell, and I haven't watched Ghost in the Shell or The Parallax View, and I want to include both of them in my mini movie review. So you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to put out any YouTube videos today. I'll put it out tomorrow, right? I'll put it out tomorrow, and then today, right now, I will press submit. I will finalize all my applications. I will press submit. That's it. And then after that, I'll help with Pepper. I'll tell her to send me all the stuff, and I'll, do some stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then a little bit later, I will have to go back to CMD for the film festival thing. I'll be seeing Aoba, and Aoba will have her last shots for her short film. She'll need my camera, so I'll be there. And that's that. And so the funny thing is, Aoba earlier today was in Keslow, Los Angeles. What is that place? Keslow is like a giant store where there are a bunch of filming equipments. And that's hilarious. That's funny. Because when very earlier today, in film 33, there were a bunch of people gone. The DP of the short film is not here. Where is she? She's in Keslow. And then a little bit later, I spoke with Cliff, and Cliff was like, oh, Leslie is in that place too. Because the Indian professor chose Leslie to be a grip. And, they went there, And then I found out that Aoba's there as well. What the fuck? So it's interesting. So what if Aoba goes to college later and then the Indian professor shows up? That would be great. That would be my chance. I will shoot my shot. I will speak to the Indian professor and hopefully I can get something. Finally, I like to mention two things. One is I talked to Pepper about my YouTube, which is bad. I don't want to do that because I want to hide my YouTube as much as possible. But I did tell Pepper how bad my English was when I started off YouTube. But then after 5.5 years of training, like I'm very natural now. I hope, and it's stupid because my latest video on my channel is literally a college update video. If Pepper sees that, I'm screwed. I'm ruined. Second of all, the most important moment of today between me and Pepper is when I asked Pepper, have you shown all of your personality to us? Because I genuinely still really expect, really anticipate a dark side in Pepper, or at least a fucked up, a sick side, a perverted, something weird with Pepper, something interesting. like I remember how Natalie had a style back then. Like Natalie had a smell. She has like crushed phone screens in her backpack, and how she has like knives and stuff, and how she folds origami, and how she pretends to be a cat sometimes. Like, she's so eccentric. And I know Pepper's not that eccentric, but I want Pepper to have that sort of style. Like, I want to know what's interesting about Pepper. I want to know so that I can convince myself, okay, Pepper's really interesting. And unsurprisingly, Pepper said, well, what do you mean? You mean like secrets? And she's like, well, yeah, of course everyone has secrets. And I'm like, yeah, of course. That's no shit. But have you shown all of your personality? And she's like, yeah, I think so. I think mostly. At least I try my best. And then I'm like, yeah, me too. And that's true, though. Like, when I was in front of JT, Potter, and Pepper that night, I was really like 90%, 90, maybe even 95% myself. Like, my eccentricity really showed that day. I had some really weird thoughts, but I say it out loud, and it's okay. You know? That's true. That's true, though. And there's nothing wrong. And if I ask Mary the same question now, Mary would probably say something along the lines of like, oh, yeah, I mean, I show myself a lot to my friends. I mean, what's wrong, you know? If I asked Natalie that, Natalie would probably answer similarly. Yeah, Natalie used to be dark, but she's changed. She's kind of a simple person now. And, yeah, you know, maybe I'll have problems from time to time, but overall it's all right, you know, it's chill. But even so, I really hope, I still think I don't know who Pepper really, 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 really is. I think right now in the entirety of LA, in the entirety of USA actually, I am one of the few people who know Pepper the best. And I don't say this lightly. I feel like Pepper is the closest person to me right now. She and Potter. But even so, I don't completely know her yet. Like, simple things like, have she dated before? I never asked this question, and I don't want to ask this question. But her romantic past will really reveal what kind of person she is. And then for sick, twisted stuff, I really need to date it back to secondary school. Because, again, if I ask Natalie now, Natalie's probably like, oh, I'm a simple person now. But she wasn't. Back in secondary school, she was fucking psycho. She would say this now because she's changed. So if I can somehow go back in time and see what Pepper actually is like back in secondary school, and then compare that with now, then maybe something interesting will come up. Another thing is rumors. One of the biggest reasons why Mary's so interesting to me is because she is made up of rumors. I never really got to know her. I only got to know her through rumors about her. You know, she's nice, she's mean, she's funny, she's not funny, she's rebellious, she's obedient. It makes her image so hazy. But now it's the opposite for Pepper. I know Pepper really well. If I ask Potter or JT about Pepper, they know her even less than I do. Which is kind of a problem. I want to know Pepper through rumors. You know, what if I go back to Hong Kong in January, come back, and then somebody, maybe Christian or Eric or Potter or JT, comes up and tell me, like, oh, the other day, Pepper fucking, I don't know, killed a bird. I would be like, whoa, what? Or, Pepper, like, killed a bird. Oh, Pepper, assaulted a guy. You know, that would really change my perception of who Pepper is. And that's something I really want. Another thing is, I just want to know how extreme Pepper can go. Again, I was thinking Carpe Diem. That's Pepper, you know. I want to know how extreme Pepper can go. Like, her dark side, or just her bad side, you know, her naughty side. I don't know. I just wish Pepper's more interesting than that, you know. I really do, because if I'm interested in Pepper, it would literally be perfect. Like everything would be perfect. But but that's not the case. That's not the fucking case, sadly. Holy fuck. I mean, we're chatting. She's nice to me. We're buying stuff together in Nijia Market. We're hanging out. We're telling each other secrets. We're deep talking with each other. Yet, I'm not interested in her. I'm just not. I'm sorry, man. I bet. I know. I don't know how Pepper thinks of me right now, but I bet there have been a couple of moments where Pepper genuinely asked herself, like, okay, I've hung out with this Enoch guy for so many months now, and he seems really like close to me. Why hasn't he made any advances? Because I am not interested in her. I don't think I am. To be fair, Pepper, after knowing a lot about Pepper and her personality, I already think Pepper is one of the more interesting people. But if you put Pepper back in my secondary school, you know, put Pepper up against Natalie and Mary, Pepper's like nothing. Put Pepper up against Pink, Pepper's nothing. Maybe put Pepper up against Anne or Olivia, maybe something. But maybe. I don't know. And another thing is, I asked Pepper about, like, so I told Pepper, like, why I started my YouTube channel. I started my YouTube channel because I didn't have a lot of friends, and the only friend I got is myself, so I talk to myself. And Pepper's like, wow, damn, you know, you should write that in your personal statement. That's good. That's so personal. And then I asked her, how about you? And she said, I don't know, I'll write how insecure I am. I'll write about how I compare myself with others. But that's like nothing. That's nothing. That's not you. I want to know the deepest, darkest, most personal, most horrifying version of you, okay? I want you to be so personal. I want you to scare me. Ironically, I feel like it's an opposite right now. I feel like I am scaring people now because I get really personal and I act eccentric and I have weird thoughts and I become the scarier one. But I want the opposite. And I feel like I act this way because of Natalie, because of the influences of Natalie and Mary. So, yeah, I don't know. I just really, really, really need to... That's a good one. To see the scariest, darkest version of Pepper. I just really need that, you know? I want to be frightened. I mean, I remember how scared I was of of people like Natalie and Jordana and Linda back in Form 1. Like, I want to be taken care of as well. Like, I want to be the one who's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know, like, what the fuck's going on. And then, like, the scary one, she's the one, like, helping me. Like, it's the other way around. I am enacting my own desires. I have become it. Which is so ironic. I want the opposite, though. So, yeah, I don't know. Time will tell. Time will tell. But, yeah. Yeah. Okay. This is it. Let's do it. I'm gonna submit. This is Long Beach. This is Northridge. 3, 2, 1. Alright. Here we go. I filled in all my personal insight stuff. I filled it all in. I filled in all my test scores and everything over here. My campus and major, I've already chosen it. Oh, what the heck? Oh shit. Why is it okay? For alternate major, I'm going for anthropology. Oh, I forgot to save. Okay. There we go. So this is my plan. And then now... Why is this only tech? What? Oh, I need to like... What? Okay, I'm freaking ready. Let's do it. Let's fucking do it. Yes. What? Okay. I put in the information. Pay bill. Oh! You successfully submitted your... Oh! Before you leave, make sure to review information below. Alright, 4 more things. Time now is 4:52 p.m. One is last night I received an email from Duolingo saying that my test is invalid again. That's right. Woohoo! I'm so happy. But this time, the good news is that it's not the same reason. My test has gotten invalid 2 times because I had background applications running. This time it's because I looked away from the camera. So I'm going to redo it, which is fine because I think I fucked up with filling the blanks a little bit, even though I did really well in the writing and the reading part. But yeah, I'm going to have to redo it, but that's totally fine because UCLA doesn't even need my Duolingo English test. Alright, second thing is my roommate, Cindy, is fucking back and she's blasting music right now. And she's probably really fucking pissed that the pantry and the floor and everything is super ultra fucking dirty. Yeah, it's a little dirty, and I wanted to clean it up before December 10th because I expected her to come back on December 10th because she's gone on November 10th, so I thought exactly 1 month, but obviously not. So she's back. So there's that. And she threw away some of my stuff. You know, I unpacked some Amazon boxes and I laid them there because I have no idea where to put them. Another thing is I submitted it. So I submitted the UC application and the CSU applications. I finished the whole thing. I checked through everything and I did it. It felt like a very crazy spur of the moment decision to press submit, but then at the same time you have to realize that everything I wrote and everything I did in the submissions, I've thought about them through and through and I've double checked them. So I did my best. So 140 plus 160, that's $300 US. And then immediately afterwards, I helped Pepper rewrite her essay. I didn't rewrite the whole thing, but I checked through some of the grammar and I gave a couple of opinions. And then right the moment after I gave her my revised version of her essay, she gave me her revised version. She changed up the paragraphs and added a bit and subtracted a bit. And so I revised her revised version again. And then that's 1 essay out of the 4. So I hope she would send me the other 3. But the thing is, I'm already running out of time. I need to go back to CMD right now. And that's it. Oh, this is a surreal experience.
Family holiday event. I'm donating my own stipend to the event to give you guys.
All right, time now is 11 p.m. I'm gonna wrap it up today. I just finished dinner, which is leftover steak, and by leftover I mean like I pre-cooked it. Green beans fried with garlic, and then the usual ravioli with shredded cheese. So yeah, let's just talk about what happened in the second half of today, which is equally as fruitful and as eventful as the first half. So, yeah, where do I start? Holy crap. So today was quite surreal because I know enough people in my film program that wherever I go, there's always someone I know and someone I've seen before. So, yeah, I went back to the CMD I arrived at 5:30. And right off the bat, I see Lauren the DP and Javier the Latino boy. Haven't seen them for a while, saw them, and then Lauren told me that apparently Thomas had lost all the audio for the short film that he made, his first short film. So, wow, there are still new problems. Like I thought this is the end of it, but no, he lost all the audio files. He couldn't find them, and Lauren kept them for a while, for like 2 months, but after that, he just erased it all. And so when Thomas contacted Lauren last night, uh, Lauren was like, I'm sorry, it's all gone. So yeah, and Lauren said if Thomas wanted to reshoot, I wouldn't say yes because I didn't have a great time. So yeah, anyways, went into the building, and that is where everyone's at. Alba, Leslie, and Cliff, the three, the Asian gang, you know. The do I even call this the Asian trio or the Asian quad or the Asian? I mean, to be fair though, Cliff isn't East Asian, but we still like get along, you know. But yeah, and then so this is where it starts to get extremely messy because literally I'd say 60-70% of everyone I know, or feels like, at least it feels like 70% of everyone I know just popped up at one place at once. And multiple things are happening. So the soundstage is still doing the film 33 stuff. And then right beside the soundstage at the auditorium, it's completely empty, but people will start going in. And then at the cafe, there's some people resting around there, whatever. And then there's the space, the giant space outside of these rooms, you know, inside the building, where Theo, the very egocentric Italian man, was setting up like a headshot place where it's like a piece of white paper, and then someone's setting up a camera to take photos there. Kat showed up. Betsy showed up. I already saw Betsy earlier today, but Betsy showed up again. And then Udav showed up out of nowhere. I also saw Udav today in the first half in film 32 slash 33. And then Udav showed up. And then Harrison, the blonde guy who I watched Bardo with, Golden Retriever, that's his nickname, he showed up. And of course the film 33 bunch is still there. That includes Alba, the Mexican girl, Patrick, the black guy. So they're all left and right, and they're all speaking to me a little bit here and there. And I don't know, like, I'm a bit greedy, and I don't want to just stick to one group of friends. So I sort of just go around, I just bounce off here and there and here and there and here and there. I just started drifting along. So at some point, Alba went back to the cafe, and then Lauren's speaking to Alba about the feature film thing. And then I went to Cliff, and then Cliff and Miles and Javier were chatting, and then Harrison joined in, and then we took a selfie together. We took a photo together, like a cool squad photo. Yeah, and then the Russian guy, Karen, who has a Sony A7 III and Tamron 25 to 70, 28 to 75. he saw that I also brought my own camera, and he's like, "Oh, is that new?" It's almost like he has a new rival, and it's like I'm like, "Yeah, I bought it a month ago," and he spoke to me a little bit about, and I reasoned with him. I'm like, "Oh, I saw that everyone's using Sony A7 III, so I got one for myself," and he's like, "Oh yeah, it's very common," and then I said, "Oh, I wanted to use a wide lens because I wanted to travel," and he's like, "Yeah, for vlogging," and I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." And he's like, "Oh, they're actually vlogging cameras." Um, and then lo and behold, so I and Theo took a picture together. Took a photo together. Took a couple photos, and then at some point, yeah, the professor of film 2 showed up. The bald guy, my second favorite professor in the film program right now, the bald guy who's really well spoken. I spoke to him, like I was like, "Hey," at first. I've never like truly spoke to him that many times. But then a little bit later, I approached him and he's like, "Hey," and I'm just like, "Are you here for the film festival thing?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm the advisor for Film Club. I have to be here." And it's a little like, okay, awkward. But then he asked me, "What am I doing here?" And I said, "Oh, I'm here for my friend's short film." I didn't mention that I'm the vice president of Script Writing Club as well. But I said, "I'm here for my friend's short film." And he's like, "Oh, okay. I'll see you later." So that's really cool. So yeah, I just kept bouncing back and forth. Then there's the Malaysian girl, Elin, the Malaysian photographer girl. She's here. And then on top of that, Leslie's Italian friend, Chiara, is here. And oh boy, that woman she looks like she's 30 something, 40 something years old. That might be a little offensive, I'm sorry. Maybe 30 something years old. I'm guessing 35, like mid 30s. Because she's married, she has a husband. And there's another Italian woman. And so these two Italian women and Theo had a chat in Italian. Leslie introduced me to her. And then, yeah, at some point, so I was just super confused. And then some people from Alba Shoot also showed up, including the Korean American boy. I hung out with him a little bit and I was like, I have no idea what's happening. And he's like, me neither. And then I hung out with Cliff a lot. I don't know why, but I get this, maybe I'm just being a little oversensitive, but I get this feeling that Leslie and Cliff, I'm just doing this so much. I just feel like Leslie and Cliff are a little bit fed up of me. Like I'm a little too like zany for them maybe, but they're just really chill. But I get this tiny vibe from them. I feel like I'm just being overly sensitive. But yeah, and then randomly out of nowhere, the black girl who's one of the most legendary figures in my college, Kimiko, she showed up. And she's legendary because she's literally everywhere. She was vice president of Hong Kong Student Association at some point. She was apparently part of this not a frat organization, but like an intelligent student association called the AGK or something, like Alpha Gamma whatever. And then she's also somehow a part of the veteran association, even though she's never served in the army. She's just everywhere, and she's active in film club. She's active in a lot of clubs, Discord server. So yeah, Kimiko came to essentially promote her December 6th main campus hangout event that's organized by her, which I will not go because I have film class on that day, film 2. But yeah, it's just a lot of people, a lot of things happening. And then at 6:45, the film festival thing begins. Betsy and some other people set up some stuff in the auditorium. And then Alba's like, "Enoch, Karen, come, quick. Alba's suddenly very commanding again. I just feel like Alba doesn't, she just doesn't have the Californisms, the packaging of a sentence. But yeah, I'm like, okay, sure. So I mounted my Sony A7 III on a tripod, and then I filmed for like 5.5 minutes, and then that's it. Oh, Matthias, the Polish guy, showed up, and there are multiple times, like 2, 3 times, I wanted to speak to him, just say hi, whatever, maintain relationships. Because I see Leslie, and Leslie's like, "Hey, what's up? How are you doing?" Leslie wasn't like super friendly, but Leslie's like, "Yo, what's up? Like I heard something happened to you. How is that going?" And I'm like, right. If I want to socialize harder, I should do that too. I should, hey, what's up to everyone, not only to Cliff and Leslie. But obviously I'm a ultra introvert, so I don't do that shit. But multiple times, 2 times, I tried to join in a conversation between Leslie and Matyusz, and both times I failed extremely awkwardly. Matyusz suddenly said the word anthropology, and that's funny because I just picked anthropology as my alternate major for UCLA, so I was like, anthropology? What? And then Matyusz just walked away, and it was kind of awkward for me. What the fuck? But anyways, I brushed it off, and then I continued on with the day. And then after putting back my camera, there was a film festival thing, which lasted from 7 p.m. to like 9 something p.m. and probably 10. But I left. So for some reason, there are some technical difficulties with the screen and the audio of the auditorium. So at some point, everyone just left the auditorium. Red was there too. A lot of people were there. Holy crap! And then everyone walked back. Aoba wanted another shot, and then but she used Karen's camera, and then yeah, and then we watched the film festival thing, and then at that point Cliff was sitting with someone else, with Harrison and somebody else, and so I just sat alone in a row, and then Karen saw me and Karen sat beside me, and then we watched a lot of student short films for my college, and most of them are absolute garbage. So Theo, with the help of many others, made a series called Life of a Corsair, and it's him in a pirate suit impersonating Johnny Depp's pirate in Pirates of the Caribbean, and it's like, it's not good. I mean, I can see the effort, but it's just silly. And then there are tons of experimental artsy short films where nothing makes sense, and it's just like, ooh, fuzzy VHS aesthetics, sex, capitalism, climate change, oh my god. And that's the whole thing, like for 5 minutes, and it's kind of silly. There's one that stands out called Deepfake Nicole Kidman, and there are literally porn inside the short film, even though it's like heavily distorted and fuzzy with a filter, but it's still fucking porn screened at the auditorium. And it's softcore porn, like it's a little striptease, but still. And then there's a pretty good short film where someone made a fan film of Kamen Rider, which I believe is a very old short film, and then we watched almost like 20 something minutes worth of Lauren's videos where he was documenting this Japanese guy in like drift races in Seattle, and then another one in New Orleans or some place like that. Saint Orleans, I forgot. And it was actually really good, really well edited, but I wouldn't watch it for 20 something minutes straight. And there's a short film that's in black and white, and it's really funny. It's two black dudes talking about titties, but then the short film got cut short. And then there's another short film where it looks really good. It's like very not super great, but like at least the cinematography is pretty good, the coloring is pretty good, but then there's something wrong with the frame rate, so it's lagging. And throughout today, the whole day, the audio has been like dying again and again and again, like every time for a few seconds. So in the middle of that, there's one intermission, a 10-minute long intermission, and I took that precious time to speak to the film history professor a little more. Harrison and I approached him, and Harrison's very talkative, and he adds everything energetically, and I just quietly listen for the most part. But I did he's really chill. The professor's really, really chill. And he talked about, mainly faculty stuff, like the film program and how he wants to use my college and make it a niche, turn it into an international film thing. And then he started talking about like how he knows a guy who's gonna come to my college and help in a year or two, and he's gonna start a course where it's all Hong Kong cinema. And then I told the professor like, oh yeah, after you told me about the Hong Kong cinema course, the potential of that happening, I brainstormed and I thought of several movies that I would pick. And he's like, oh yeah, stay tuned. He also showed us a photo of himself with the. I'm not going to talk too much about it because it's supposed to be secret. He's like, YouTube, don't tell anyone. But he took a photo with some famous people, like the synth player or the lead singer of Journey, and then like Patty Jenkins, director of Wonder Woman, and I didn't know about Journey, so I was like, oh, that's the other professor, the Italian professor, and he's like, no, no. And he also took a photo with like the Lord of the Rings cast, like with Andy Serkis and Sean Austin and another guy who's not Fredo, not Elijah Wood. Yeah, that's that. But yeah, there's apparently a second intermission, and that is when I'm like, okay, it's 9 p.m. I gotta go home. I haven't even had dinner yet. And every time there's an intermission, a few people leave. Dane is here as well. Dane in the red shirt. And one of the short films screened is a teaser trailer for a horror film, a black and white artsy horror film, and it actually looks pretty good, even though it still looks like a student film. And I went up to him and I said, "Wow, it looks interesting." And he's like, "Thank you." And yeah, I sat with Cliff and Harrison after the first intermission, and then during the second intermission I'm like, okay, I gotta go home. So I grab my backpack and I'm ready to leave. And then before that, me, Cliff, Leslie, her Italian friends, some other people, I don't know, gathered outside the bathroom and talked a little bit. Leslie was sitting on the ground and they were talking about Children of Men and how like Leslie didn't enjoy that film. And then that's it. I left, and Cliff stayed behind because he wanted to watch more for the film festival, but I'm gone. The professor's gone. A lot of people are gone. Like only 1/3 of the people are left. So I went back home. That's it. And throughout the whole second half of today, I was reading the 2 personal insight questions Pepper sent to me, and I tried to fix some of the grammar issues. Okay, so for the first PIQ she sent me today, which is free form PIQ, like you can write whatever you want. You just need to prove that you're worthy of being admitted to the UCs. It's really bad. Like, it's not super terrible, but it's bad. It's disorganized. There are a lot of grammar errors. Apparently, it's been fixed by some of the people in the agency, but nothing is fixed. It doesn't seem like that to me. The second essay she sent me is an essay about her greatest talent, and it's really well written to the point where it doesn't feel like Pepper wrote it. It's so fucking obvious that someone ghost wrote it because the vocab is so ridiculous. Like words like shortcoming and like shock to the bone. Like Pepper will never come up with words and phrases like that. So it's obvious it's been heavily tampered with, and I told Pepper, like, you gotta tune down some of those words. And then another thing is, like, I still can't see the point of writing this essay. Like show a story, show an arc. And then the third essay it's a totally different style. It doesn't have, it's well written, but it doesn't have the fancy words. And the content is all over the place. It's about leadership, and Pepper talked about her experience as vice president and how she prepared for the elections, and then there's a Christmas party, and then like at some point she met other leaders from other places. Like it's sort of all over the place. You can't really see a story, you can't really see change in it. So yeah, but I try my best to help her, and then she's like, okay, thanks, like TYYYYYY, like thank you, with a lot of exclamation marks. I'm happy. I'm happy that I can help Pepper, and I hope that my efforts would help Pepper because the submission deadline is literally 40 minutes later. Um. So yeah. I don't know. I still think like after my talk with Pepper today, I still think Pepper doesn't have like a dark side or anything. I think it's silly to even think that Pepper has like a hidden dark side or something like that. Like that's not gonna happen. I feel like the only way for me to be interested in Pepper is for me to reconcile and change my taste. Because it is a little fucked up that I like interesting people in a strange way, but only a little bit because it's also normal and it's also my choice and my thoughts and my feelings. I still do think that I don't know Pepper completely. Oh yeah, another moment today I have to explain. So I'm like typing the fixed essays on Pepper with Pepper's WhatsApp. Cliff saw it and Cliff's like, "Oh, you're texting Pepper in paragraphs? What the heck's going on?" And then Javier saw it and Javier was like, "Damn, like are you guys like in a breakup or something?" Like maybe in a half joking way, because usually like when people break up, they write like paragraph long texts. And I'm like, "No, I'm just fixing her essay." And she's like, and Javier was like, "Oh, I thought you two were in a relationship because you two always seem so close." This is the fifth fucking time or the sixth fucking time people think I and Pepper are in a relationship. Or at least something's going on between us, which is both a great thing, but also a fucking embarrassing thing. Like, it would be amazing. It would be a huge honor if people mistake that I and Natalie are dating back in secondary school. To think that I am that high of a caliber to be with Natalie is such a fucking compliment. But in fact, I'm not. And then now, some people are legit thinking that I'm dating Pepper. And I'm not even interested in her. And that's so ironic. And I hate that. I want to be interested in her. The only thing that's left is my own mind. Like if my mind changes, then everything will be perfect. But my mind is not changing. I can't feel it. I'm sorry. That's why the period of isolation is so damn important. In January, I need to breathe some. And I want to know who Pepper is from the mouths of other people. I want to ask Potter and JT and stuff about. Though JT will go back to Hong Kong and South Korea. Bye-bye. A couple more updates here. So, not really updates, just things I remembered earlier today. So today I was like complimenting Miles' jacket because complimenting people are good. And Miles and I said, "Oh, I think this jacket will really fit me, because he's wearing like a trench coat and that's like very me." So he's like, "Want to switch?" And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." So he actually took off my jacket and he wore it for like 20 minutes and I wore his jacket. And then he just sort of walked away. I thought we're just going to try it out for a little while. And then we had to paint the frigging the polystyrofoam like boards. And Miles heard about it. And Miles was so worried that I'm going to get paint on his jacket that he sent Cliff to walk to that area to ask me if I got any paint on his jacket, and I said no, and Cliff walked back. So that's kind of funny. A bit later, today, before I left the campus, after the film festival thing, or in the middle of it, really, when Leslie was sitting on the ground outside of the bathroom, I was being a little edgy, I was like, I'm hungry, but I can't feel it. I had to remember that I'm hungry. And Leslie looked at me and she was like, you read too much Russian literature. And I'm like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. And then the Russian guy next to me, Karen, he's like, you read Russian literature? And I'm like, no, did I say something accidentally Russian? So yeah, that's that.